Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Glad to have this man back, former Chief of Staff of the Department of Defense. It is Kash Patel. Kash, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on my Texas movie premiere tour of Government Gangsters, but there's no other show I'd rather be on, so we're making time.
Well, you know that we've got 16 stations in Texas alone, so we're going to make. Where's the premiere happening? Is it happening tonight, tomorrow? When is this?
Last night in Dallas, we oversold 350 seats, and tonight in Austin, we oversold 150 more. So we're
So,
going to keep going.
so you're an hour north of me and decided not to get together. Is that what you did? I got you. No, look, Kash, it's
I,
okay.
no, don't.
I would have
I
come
didn't know
up.
I did.
I would have come
Oh,
up.
man.
No, it's all good.
I'm
We'll
so
talk. We'll,
sorry.
we'll talk off the air about it. You're going to miss out on some good spaghetti or something. We could have made you a nice meal.
Oh, man.
Let's get into this news cycle, and I want to start with the nominee process on the left. I want to get into the assassination attempt. I want to get into the RNC, which was amazing. I want to get into all of it, but we've got to talk about what the left is trying to do. People like you and I have talked about how they would rather have selections instead of elections. But we still have elections in this country because we have to fight for democracy. You know, they keep on saying the right wants to take democracy out. We just had a democratically run primary season for Democrats. It was a democratic system in that people got to go and vote. One vote, one person, you pick who it is. They all selected Joe Biden. 14 million people, which is nothing when he had 81 million, in the last election. That's weird. But 14 million people said Joe Biden's my guy. He's the presumptive nominee, even as we speak today. Obama, Pelosi, Clinton, whoever the hell it is behind the scenes, has decided he can't win. And because he can't win, we're just going to throw somebody else in there. Kash, is this even legal by the way that we vote in this country?
It's a political insurrection. It's
Yes.
exactly what it is. I mean, they've seen the Democratic Party has seized the democratic process in the United States of America and contorted it and shifted it and broken probably many rules, regulations, and laws to appoint the heir apparent and remove the people in America who voted through the democratic process for a candidate of their choosing. I mean, you want to talk about the hypocrisy of all hypocrisies? They literally snatched the vote away from the American public and said, we don't care about your vote. We care about who we want in charge. So we, the leadership of this so-called Democratic Party, are going to hijack your vote and commit a political insurrection and anoint a new leader, putting aside all the illegalities with that.
This is what they do in Venezuela. This is what Saddam Hussein did back in Iraq. This is what North Korea does. We don't do that here. And again, they all talk about how democracy is under fire by the right and Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. So is Cash, so is PAGS. And they literally, like you said, told 14 million voters, I don't care that you went through the cold and rain in Connecticut and in New Jersey and wherever the hell else it was when they did this entire thing. And what was it in Iowa? It was so cold that people couldn't walk outside. They still went and voted for Joe Biden. They told these people, your franchise doesn't matter. You'll take what we give you and like it. Cash, it can't be legal. I know that the Heritage Foundation is talking about a legal challenge already. Is there a legal challenge to say this process has been done? You can't take away their votes.
Well, I think it's up to each individual state because each individual state has a certain separate set of laws that govern the federal elections. And that's what we've learned. The federal government does not govern federal elections. The states do. And now the state parties who have standing, especially the Democrats, forget what the Republicans are doing. The Democrats and the people in those states, Iowa, New Hampshire, Connecticut, South Carolina, they should be filing lawsuits against the Democratic Party and saying, wait a second, you broke state law. State law, for instance, in my home state of Nevada, requires delegates vote for the party that sent them to the convention and the candidate. And so if they were to go in Nevada, the Democrats, if they were to go to Chicago and anoint Harris, that's not who they selected to be president.
Right.
And so there's a legal issue there that needs resolving, but it needs resolving in each state according to its own laws. And of course, it doesn't pass the democratic test. Now, whether it passes a legal test remains to be questioned, but I think we know what's going on. Like you said, they have seized the franchisement right to the American people in the Democratic Party.
It's Kash Patel. Go and check out Government Gangsters. The movie is out. The book is out. Go and make sure you check it out. It's going to be a great read or a great watch for you. I'm glad that you brought up that the election decision, the federal elections are done by state rule, by state law. The Constitution literally says that. It's up to the state legislatures to make the rules of elections in individual states. But I don't know, Kash, if you noticed in 2020, they were accepting mail-in ballots in states where it wasn't legal. They were accepting mail-in ballots in boxes that were paid for by Mark Zuckerberg, not sanctioned by the state. They bent the rules. They broke the rules in 2020, and there was no judge that would even hear the case. So, do you think the Democrat Party is saying to itself, well, we can do anything we want? We just found out in 20.
Yeah, they don't care about the rule of
Yeah,
law, and they'll discard it for political convenience. They know we are in a national security crisis of our times for the last 3 years of the Biden presidency. And now we are in a national security crisis on steroids for the 4-month gap we have between now until election day. And they have now just removed that individual, and they are trying to anoint Kamala Harris or whoever else is coming up behind them. And what they're trying to do is take the media and cover up the groundbreaking, rule breaking, law breaking that the Democrats are about to embark on in order for political expedience. And let's not forget the giant pot of money, some $200 million that was raised by the Biden-Harris ticket of president and vice president.
right.
The FEC laws govern that money very specifically. Only that individual can anoint the deployment of that capital because it was given directly to them. I think there's another legal issue there because it's never happened before, Joe. So
Yeah.
someone should be questioning it in a court of law. Is Kamala Harris allowed to spend Joe Biden's money since he was on the top of the ticket? And that's how the money was raised. Look, if the roles were reversed, they would be taking us to court in every single state
Yes.
and challenging every single vote and challenging every single dollar that was raised. So why aren't we doing that to them?
Government Gangsters, the movie, Government Gangsters, the book. I think it's War Room Films. What is it? Warroom.film to go and check it out?
Warroom.film. Get your copy now.
Okay, warroom.film. And if there's a premiere near you, make sure you go and check it out. Don't wait for Cash to call you and tell you he won't. Just to let you know. No, Cash, it's all good. All right, so let's break this down the best we can. We know that already yesterday, the campaign announced they're changing the campaign name to Kamala Harris for president or something, and she's going to now have dibs to that money. But if I understand what you're saying, the entity Biden-Harris is who people gave money to. They did not give money to Harris. In fact, Harris was not in the primary. Only Joe Biden was in the primary, and he's the nominee. So are you saying if all things legal were fair, then she shouldn't be able to touch that money?
I'm saying it's never been adjudicated. And
Okay.
so it needs to be decided by a court of law. I'm not the legal election expert, and I'm not going to pretend to be. But if Donald Trump, and thank God he wasn't taken out,
Yes.
and if Donald Trump were, and the vice president were to step in, are you telling me the Democrats wouldn't say the $500 million plus you've raised in the last however many months shouldn't go to you?
Yeah.
They would of course present a legal challenge because we
Right.
don't have a legal answer for it. And that's all I'm asking for is us to follow the Constitution. Maybe she gets it, but I don't know. Right now on its face, it seems more than preposterous, the scheme and operation they are running to replace Joe Biden with her. And then they're going to allow the millions of dollars that donors donated to Biden Harris,
Yes.
not somebody else, to go to her. That's a legal question that needs to be answered.
It's Cash Patel. Go and check out Government Gangsters. Again, it's warroom.film. And you can also go buy the book on Amazon, anywhere else that you want to go. Does it matter who's going to be the nominee? And here's why I ask. Barack Obama has not endorsed her yet. Biden did, although I'm sure Biden doesn't realize that he did. Somebody did in Biden's stead. And Nancy Pelosi came out today and endorsed. As we're doing this interview this afternoon, he hasn't endorsed her yet. Is there a reason why you think he's waiting?
Probably because he's smart and doesn't want her to be the nominee because she can't win, in my political opinion.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump is going to trounce any opponent they put up because his agenda is so powerful. We saw it at the RNC. We saw everyday Americans come in and speak from the heart to the American people who've never been politically active. And everybody resoundingly said they prefer Donald Trump's policies. They prefer Donald Trump to protect America, their family. They prefer Donald Trump to protect their children and end the forever wars and so many other things. That's a platform for America that we saw at the RNC. What is the Democrats' platform? Damn the elections. We don't care about the rule of law. We're going to anoint whoever we want, and we'll use whatever money we can from whatever doldrum it comes from.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you who your leader is.
I think that's the platform. Yeah, I think that's the actual platform that they put out. That would be interesting. Can you imagine if they were honest and actually said that, Cash? That would be amazing. It is Cash Patel. Talk to me about J.D. Vance. I know of J.D. Vance. Haven't had him on. I think there was an opportunity where we could have, and it didn't happen for some reason, but we'll have him on soon. Talk to me about why this is the right pick. I have my idea on why I think, but I want to hear it from you.
Look, I think JD was a tremendous pick for vice president. I mean, forget the resume of Ivy League, law, business entrepreneur, Marine Corps, having worn the uniform of our country. Put all that aside. JD Vance in the Senate, his record speaks for itself. He has championed the policies that President Trump has put forward from the border to illegal immigration, to the never-ending wars, to the economy, to national security, to putting law enforcement and our veterans first. I mean, this is a guy that gets it from everyday America. His past, his upbringing is so heartwarming and speaks of the American dream. And he is embodying, I believe, what Donald Trump wants to leave on the field as his legacy. And I think it's a great number 2 pick to carry that forward and champion it across the Rust Belt. And that's tremendously important. JD, being from Ohio, is going to go out and campaign, I believe, in states like Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, where so many manufacturing jobs were robbed from American people by the Biden administration. And so I think it's crucially important that he picked that individual for many reasons, but that is a big one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the fact that he's from the Midwest is a really, really big deal. We know that Trump won those Midwestern states by really overworking Hillary Clinton in 2016. If I recall, on election night at like 3 a.m. or election morning, 3 a.m., he was on the tarmac in Grand Rapids getting those last votes in Michigan. And Hillary Clinton's campaign literally told her, you lost because you didn't go there. You didn't go to Michigan. You didn't go to Wisconsin. You've got a guy from there. He's a native son, and that's going to go a really, really long way. It's Kash Patel. Go and check out his movie. It's called Government Gangsters. Get his book, Government Gangsters. Premieres all over the place. But you can go to the website, warroom.film, and go get yourself a copy right now. In looking at this whole thing, and I'm going to ask you to be conspiratorial a little bit. If you don't want to be, that's fine. But what about this idea? You throw Kamala Harris up there because she never would have been the vice president with a different lead on the ticket. She feels as though she's owed this. You put her on there knowing she's going to lose, yet Trump's only got 4 more years, and then you retool and put up a Gavin Newsom or a Whitmer or a fill-in-the-blank person in 28. Is there anything to the idea that maybe she's the sacrificial lamb for the Democrats who know they're going to lose this election?
Well, look, Obama's the most astute political operative on their side. And as you said, he didn't come out with that chorus of endorsements that Kamala Harris came in with. And that's very telling for me. That means that they are not in sync, that they did not plan this out. And there is a disagreement in terms of the handing of the gavel down to Kamala Harris. So maybe there are some folks saying maybe we just got to eat the next 4 years from the Democratic perspective and see if they can retool and re-upgrade come down the road. I don't know what they're thinking, but I do know the facts, and that is the biggest dynastic family in politics right now, Obamas, are not in for Kamala Harris.
It's very interesting. It is Kash Patel. Kash, you've got a great, public and professional relationship with the president. You also have a great personal relationship with President Donald J. Trump. Talk to me about, I know him on a personal level as well, nowhere near like you do, but I've seen him in personal moments that other people haven't seen, where he's been very nice to my family, been very nice to me. He actually gave me a promo for my show. Like at the end of one of my interviews, he's like, hey, Pags, you're still rolling? The Joe Pags show is the best show out there. He's doing great. We love Joe Pags. Like he just did that. I didn't ask him for it. So he's a really nice guy, but I don't know him personally like you do. I saw a change in him in Grand Rapids. He was effervescent. He was telling stories. He was almost tap dancing. You just feel it. You can almost feel a rejuvenated Donald Trump after surviving that assassin's bullet. What do you see from him personally when you talk with him?
Well, I think, that experience is, I'm not sure there's any other person that can relate to that type of experience. Maybe a handful of people who have literally escaped death thanks to the grace of God. And President Trump, you've seen him, like you said, he is out there the very next week accepting the Republican nomination, giving that brilliant speech of unity and how we want the truth to take the day in America and how we want policies for all of Americans, not just Republicans.
Yeah.
I think it was a unifying message. And in the most trying of times, if the target of the assassin can come out and lead with that kind of courage and then go to Michigan and to get on the campaign trail and get with JD and tell the American people, and as you said, be personal, be political, be funny, be loving, be a champion of America. I think you're seeing publicly what we're seeing personally in private. Donald Trump cares for America even more, if that's possible, than he did just a couple of weeks ago. And it's showing brightly every time he speaks and every time he's in public. And that's what we see when we're in private with him all the time.
Follow him on Truth Social at Kash, Kash. Kash, he made fun of his comb over. He made fun of his hair. He's telling stories. He's talking about the bullet and going, zing, he's making noises. The whole thing was like, oh my God, this is amazing what I'm watching right now. And I think you've already alluded to this, but I don't think there's one person on the left, whether it be Michelle Obama or somebody else, that has any chance against him in November. And I don't want people to take that for granted and not vote. Go vote. Vote early. Vote often. Vote whenever you can. I think we're saying swamp the vote is the actual thing that the Trump campaign is saying, which means everybody's got to go and take care of that franchise to make sure it happens. But I think the left is in this disarray because of how big a challenge it would be to even try to take him out. He's up by 5 percentage points nationally right now, and we're still 4 months out.
You raise a great point. Now's not the time to spike the football. Now's the time to carry the football through the end zone and into the next game and play through the echo of the whistle. I know President Trump is not going to stop. He's probably going to double and triple down after what happened to him, because that's how much he loves the American people. And that's how much his movement needs to support in behind him. We cannot just say, oh, because the Democrats have such a terrible candidate that this thing's over. It is 107 days away from being over. And we got to challenge the American public every single day, including the media, and roll out the truth. That's the unifying message we have. Yes, we all want to know what failures there were that led to that catastrophic incident where Donald Trump almost lost his life. But we want to take that and get Congress behind the levers of government to put the truth out, and not conspiracies, and not speculate. And let's actually get answers so that never happens again. That's the unifying message and opportunity we have to roll in here behind Donald Trump. And we got to go every single day and remind our elected officials in Congress that you represent us, and right now the will of the people needs an answer, and that answer is the truth.
Absolutely. Go and see Government Gangsters in a theater near you. If it happens to be there, go to warroom.film, warroom.film, and go download it. Go get it. You can get the book as well over on Amazon called Government Gangsters. It is Kash Patel. Kash, I appreciate the friendship. Good luck tonight on the premiere, and let's talk again soon, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, brother. We're back after this. Stay right here.